Welcome to the official YouTube channel for the Colin Cowherd podcast. Go on, hit the subscribe button. There it is, so you don't miss any of our football content this season. It has been, if I might say, fantastic. This is what I have said about the Cowboys and the Lakers. Very insular franchises with a lot of buses and friends of buses in the Lakers and a lot of Joneses and friends of Joneses inside the Cowboys. Is that as the league's gotten sharper, shrewder, and more analytical, the Lakers and the Cowboys have gotten more of the corner grocery store in a supermarket world. Is that football's gotten so smart, and you look at the Cowboys right now, and they're overpaying for a quarterback that's a B+ quarterback. Like, that is the number one mistake in the league. Pay for Mahomes or a rookie quarterback. Those are the only two. You can have Garoppolo and Goff early in their career and get to a Super Bowl. You can have Garoppolo and get to a Super Bowl before you pay him big.
Well, if you get McVay, if you get Shanahan, if you get one of those guys, and obviously those guys don't count against your salary cap. So
that's right.
Do anything you can to hire one of those guys.
It's remarkable to me that the Cowboys and the market struggles with this. I think Dallas fans have finally figured it out. The Athletic did a poll, and like 75% of Cowboy fans are like, we have no chance to win the Super Bowl for 5 years. So they get it. Cowboy fans get it. But these people that think it's an anti-Dak conversation, no, it's an anti-paying a B+ quarterback A+ money. It is so it's like the most obvious analytic. Some we can argue about in baseball. Some are clear that the ground ball is a death penalty. A strikeout's not. That's pretty obvious if you don't follow too much analytics. In football, just don't pay a good quarterback great money. If you don't know anything else, that's clear. And
it's funny though.
It's
funny. I get why teams do it. Even saying that, because in Dallas's situation, let's say they decided not to pay Dak and just let him leave for nothing. That's also bad team building. Like, he finished second in the league in MVP last year. He's won 12 games 3 years in a row. They led the league in scoring last year. I hate when teams just let stars walk for nothing. You have to get something for your asset. Even if it's 60 cents on the dollar, you have to get something. And so Dallas was going to be too good to draft Drake May or to draft Bo Nix or to draft Jaden Daniels. And so then they would be maybe they wouldn't be paying big money to go get a good quarterback, but they would be trading multiple first-round picks to move up and get a good quarterback. And do you trust that Jerry Jones is going to hire the right coach to develop the young quarterback? Because, if you could say, I'd rather have Jaden Daniels at his money than Dak Prescott at his, like, of course, obviously. But Atlanta was like, we can't have another year of Desmond Ridder. Like, we will give Kirk Cousins $180 million at 35 coming off of an Achilles and draft Michael Penix so that we never have to go through a season like that again. Like, there aren't 32 good quarterbacks in the world that can do this job. And there's 32 teams.
Yeah, I also think something I touched on last week is quarterbacks come in more ready to play, but owners are more ready to fire them. So you've got this convergence of wealthier owners, more impulsive, quarterbacks more talented. We're not giving you 2 full years. I mean, the fact that Daniel Jones got an extension and was basically a C- quarterback, it's just that doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah, no, that was a terrible one. That one made no sense. And the thing about these rookies, like, I kept saying when I was still doing radio in Chicago, I was like, we need to hold Caleb Williams to a really high standard. And people were like, why do you keep saying CJ Stroud? That's an outlier. I was like, no, it wasn't. The outlier for Stroud was that he didn't throw interceptions. He only had 5 interceptions. But Dak had 4. Like, we have, as a rookie, we have seen it before. The guy had 23 touchdowns. He had a little over 4,000 yards. It was a very, very, very impressive season because no one saw it coming. Houston was terrible. He turned them around. He won a playoff game. But I mean, he beat the Browns. He beat Joe Flacco in a playoff game. And again, this is not to knock CJ Stroud, but my point is, it is easier to be good as a rookie, because back in the day, you'd be playing in like the Big 12 in a spread offense, and they'd be like, come into the NFL and be under center and take 7-step drops and throw post routes. And now they're like, everything's out of the shotgun. You can have a wristband. We're going to call the play in on a number, and we're going to give you a run pass option, just like you had in college. So it's just so much easier to be good early that I hope that we get smarter when Shedeur Sanders or whomever comes into the NFL next year, and then everyone's like, pump the brakes on expectations. No, man, like build your organization from coaches, from investment in the offensive line, wide receivers. Build your organization to take advantage of the first 4 years of these guys when they're crazy cheap, because that's the easiest time it should ever be for you to win a Super Bowl if you have a great quarterback. And I do think that Washington and Chicago, at least I'll say it on those guys. You're farther ahead on Bo Nix than I am, but those teams should be making hyper aggressive moves the next 3 years to win a Super Bowl, because that's what you can do if you've got a quarterback who's that good, who's that cheap.